Democrats. Today is Friday, March 10th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Friday. Oh, my goodness. Am I glad that it's Friday? This has been 12 weeks packed into 5 days. It has been a really long week with a lot of crazy packed into it, right? So starting with Tuesday when we had a heinous anti-trans bill passed, and a kerfuffle at the Capitol, and an election where only 8% of our citizenry actually bothered to show up and cast a vote. Now, that was all in one day. That was all in one day. Then on Wednesday, we had the reprehensible censure of a rep that they have been targeting since this rep got elected. And by the way, this rep was elected twice. And there have been many instances of targeting this rep, trying to silence the voice of this representative. And for a moment, they've been able to strip Representative Turner of their committees. But we will see what happens next, because it is the action of bullies in leadership, and at some point they have to be held accountable. And again, if I haven't said it enough, Representative Turner was censored supposedly for harboring a fugitive. Lawyers have said to me that if there is no crime, there is no fugitive. And so were they harboring a fugitive? No crime was, there was no crime charged. Meanwhile, there are 2 representatives in the Oklahoma State House who are awaiting trial on felony charges. One of those felonies, when I say one of those felonies, because there's a bunch of felonies, one of those felonies happened at the Capitol. Because usually they try to make the distinction of, did it happen at the Capitol or not? But one of those felonies happened at the Capitol. That representative is still serving on committees, still submitting bills, and still getting the vote. It's not fair. It's not equitable. And it's what's wrong with a state that is wholly controlled by one party for a really long time and in a bully status, which is a perfect time for me to mention, apropos of much, that in the United States, 9 out of 10 of the poorest ranked states, 9 out of 10 in the top 10, 9 of those are red states. If you look at the poorest counties in our country, 99 out of 100 of the poorest counties in our country are controlled by Republicans. Don't believe what you hear on Fox News. Don't believe what you hear in the little sound bites. What is happening right now is that one party is so focused on fighting that they're not focused on running their counties, running their states. And we happen to live, if you're in Oklahoma with me, we happen to live in one of those states where our leadership is more concerned with culture wars and being a bully and copying bills and pushing them through than they are about taking care of Oklahomans, making the lives of Oklahomans better. What they are concerned with, just this week, out of one chamber, they voted to expand the castle doctrine, which is the stand your ground, right? If someone comes onto your property, they're in your house, and you feel like you're in imminent danger, then you can shoot them. So that's one piece. Now we've expanded it. If they are so much as on your property, all the way to your boundary, then you have the right to shoot them. How many people are going to die as a result of this, of someone's interpretation, someone's misinterpretation of this new law? It's not quite a law yet, but that's what's working its way through the Oklahoma legislature. Got to find more ways to get more guns in the hands of more people to wreak the most havoc. The number one cause of death among youth is guns. But we're the most pro-life state there is. Don't even get me started on that. Speaking of kids, the leader of the House and the Speaker of the State Senate, there's a state, they are now butting heads on what to do about education. They're butting heads on what to do about education. They can't get together and decide what we're going to do for our kids, but the kids are their priority. That's where we live. That's where we live, and that's what we have to stop. And that's why I am involved. It's why I get up every day and why I encourage you to join me in getting involved. Because if we leave them to their own devices, when I say them, I mean our state legislature. And when I say our state legislature, I'm talking about the super majority. We leave them to their devices. No decision is made on education. Plenty decisions of expanding guns made, checked. Bullying and persecuting folks for sport, done, checked. That's what happens in our state. The only way that we fight that is that we unite and make sure that our voices are heard, and we vote every time the precinct is open. Every time your name is in one of those books for you to vote, you should be casting your vote. Whether you're going to do it by absentee, early in person, or on the day of, you have to vote and tell everyone you know to vote. Because this is the week where we had a consequential ballot initiative on the ballot, and 25% of registered voters showed up. 25% of registered voters made the decision for the entire state. 25%. And so I have seen so much grousing on social media, both Facebook and Twitter, about this bill. So much grousing about who didn't show up and why didn't you show up. And my question is, where were you beforehand? Where were you in telling people to show up? Did you show up? Talking about the people who are all over social media today. It matters. Elections have consequences, and every time the ballot box is open, there are consequences. And so where we are right now, people will continue to sit incarcerated for adult use marijuana while the same thing is happening out here for free. That's what's going on. Because for me, criminal justice reform was the big deal. There are a whole lot of other things that were in that bill, but criminal justice reform is the big one, and we didn't get it because folks didn't show up. There is another election coming up. There's an election in April. I need you to request your absentee ballot so you know who's on your ballot and what's on your ballot, and make a plan. And then once you have your plan in your phone, once you've pinned down your plan, you've talked it over with your boss, then help someone else make their plan. We got to show up. 8% of our population deciding for the rest of our population makes no sense. With results like that, none of us can complain because it seems like we're all a part of that problem. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and join Scott on Monday at the Hamilton Report at 6:30. Have a great weekend.